Man, oh man, I am digging that new brand that Moen has built. Give us in the comment section, just right out the gate, if you guys like that, give Moen a poke, and in the comments say how cool that is. He did that on short notice for me, and
Pretty
that
awesome,
is
dude. I
banging,
like it.
isn't it?
I like it.
Yeah, he is really good at
Love
what
it.
he does. Thanks, Moen. I think great feedback's going to come with the opening and closing of the show. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the College Football Mafia Network. This is The Take. For going along with all those subgenres in the Mafia land. So The Take tonight is going to be covering all of college football, but tonight we're in the SEC. We're going to do a 2025 preview with two SEC absolute experts and people that can give insight that me and dumb old Daniel, yes, Daniel, you're dumb, don't know insight into these schools that they'll let us know kind of where we're going to get our picks offline. I can almost guarantee you Jason Watkins is not going to be happy when he sees everybody's picks about Oklahoma. And I will say this, I think Oklahoma is way underrated.
You might be surprised at what I think about those picks.
No, I'm not. I don't think you're. I'm not going to be surprised. I know exactly what you're going to say. I am just saying to the world, if you're counting out Oklahoma as an afterthought, you're making a big mistake. That's all I'm going to say. With me are Daniel Gygax, another contributor on the College Football Mafia Network, and then sometime contributors. That would be Jason Watkins and Jackson Johnson. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Well, every time you call me good buddy, I'm doing okay. I appreciate you being here, Jackson. So Jackson will represent Alabama, and anybody else he wants to. Jason will be representing Oklahoma. Before we get started, really quick, get on Twitter and follow these guys. Follow Jason Watkins. Follow Jackson Johnson, voice of college football, and Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame of college football. College Football Hall of Fame. I have that right, Jason, right?
Hall of Fame college football.
Hall of Fame college football.
Yep.
And they're great brands on Twitter. Everything they do is fantastic. I want to encourage you to follow these guys, get into what they're doing. And last but not least, follow us here. Follow Daniel, follow me, follow the College Football Mafia Network. And we will give you all of your college football news, notes, realignment, anything that has to do with the business of college football. And then, of course, we're talking about the games and everything that has to do with that. And now, just before we get started, how refreshing is it, you guys, to be talking about football?
Can't wait, man. It's so good that we're like 3 weeks away right now from the start of the season.
Right.
Really, if you count 0 week, it's real, and you should. It's part
right.
of it. But I mean, a couple of weeks away from actually getting to watch some football. I mean, it's crazy that I even get into the Hall of Fame game when I don't really like pro football that much. But
I know, desperate, right?
We're still fiending for football at this point. That it's good to be close, man. I'm glad it's back.
Jackson. Oh man, like our good buddy, like TJ Ronan on Michigan at the Voice of College Football, is so excited about football as a whole coming back that they moved up the Michigan show, the college show, by a day because they're like, oh, I'm watching Lions and Chargers. I'm like, there you go.
I like it. I love it.
A couple of years ago, the very first game that Thursday before week 0, it was 2 D3 football games, and I was watching it on my TV because it was actual competitive football that was being shown.
There was a guy arguing with me today, absolutely yelling at me on Twitter about the fact that I don't do football at all. I hate football, in fact. I only talk about realignment. That's the only thing that I care about. And I told him, whatever. And then the next thing I told him is, we're not in football season. So, dude, you need to take a chill pill because we'll talk about football at football time.
Well, Nathan, the troll that was going at you obviously doesn't watch Voice of College Football, and he sure as heck doesn't watch CFB Mafia, obviously.
There we go. I appreciate that.
I say what I mean.
All right, before we get started, everybody, I will get to comments at the end of the show. We have to be under an hour. These guys have commitments. Jason, you're certainly invited to stick around. Jackson has to go. And we can take calls at the end of the show. We can take your calls about the SEC or, frankly, anything else that comes to mind. And it could be a lot of fun. But we'll do comments at the end there. I will, during the show, while we're picking games, if you want to get your comment read, for sure, make it a super chat, and I'll get that in the first hour. That will happen. All right. Before we do anything else, then let's just tip the hat and say, Daniel, how are you doing today? I appreciate you helping me out tonight.
Hey, no problem. Hey, doing pretty good. 2 weeks and change to week 0. You can't beat it.
I can't come fast enough. All right,
I know.
we're going to start with Jason. Jason, oldest friend, one of the first people I got to know in this social media stuff. It really was a mentor and helped me out a ton. Jason, first, your school's Oklahoma. Tell us why Oklahoma's going to win the national championship.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to tell you that. I don't know that's where I'm headed with this one. Listen, I think that Oklahoma has a good chance to make the college football playoff. I've got them somewhere in the area of 9-3, with the possibility of going up and maybe winning 10 games or more. But the truth of the matter is, they play the toughest schedule in the SEC. You've got at least, and looking upwards of 9 top 25 teams on the schedule. Now, whether or not that matters, because I'm with you, all you guys that don't believe in ranking them this early.
Right.
But that being said, they're still ranked. So, looking at this ahead, I mean, it could be one of the toughest schedules. You open up, in week 2, you've got Michigan on the schedule. Week 4, you've got Auburn, who's a sexy pick for a lot of people to do very well in the SEC this year, which they kind of need to. I'm not sure that I believe in them. Texas, obviously, in week 5. Then you've got South Carolina and Tennessee, South Carolina, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU on the schedule. So, I mean, there's no easy weeks for these Sooners. So it's hard for me to sit here and say I'm going to go pick them to win the national championship. Do I love their talent? I do. Do I love their defense? Absolutely. Their defense is legitimately elite in this country. I think you've got a lot of highly respected SEC media minds that are picking the defensive line as the best in the SEC, best in the country. I agree with that on all fronts. I think that defensively on the back end, they're as good as they've ever been as well. The truth of the matter is, if John Mateer comes in there and does what a lot of people expect him to do, which is compete for a Heisman Trophy, with this defense, the sky is the limit. I mean, I'm not one for making crazy predictions like national championship. I just don't do that. But I think that, you saw some things from their, as good as their defense was last year, and it was without having any help from the worst offense in Oklahoma history.
Yeah, the last couple of years have been tough.
Yeah, I mean, but having a guy like John Mateer, who led the FCS or FBS in touchdowns last season, yardage from scrimmage, great season for him. We're going to see what happens, though, guys. I mean, there's no easy outs in this conference. When you're going to play against Texas, who everybody believes is a national champion contender, don't count me on that one. Alabama, who I think is a lot better than people give them credit for. LSU, and the only one of my top 4 that Oklahoma doesn't play is Georgia. So it's just it's going to be a tough go through it. But I think that they have the talent to be able to win, and I think that it's time for them to win for sure, because Brent Venables definitely on the hot seat a little bit.
Completely agree.
Especially with the.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. How hot is that seat for Venables? I mean,
it got a little hotter
on the outside looking in. It's blistering hot.
Yeah. Until about 2 weeks ago, I was one of the people that believed as long as they won more than 6 games, that he was probably safe because of the buyout. They still will owe him $35 million after this season.
Right.
It's tough with the NIL and everything, the way that things are going, for them to pay money to a coach that isn't coaching anymore when they want to spend that money on kids. Right. I'd say that it makes it harder. But here's the thing. When Joe Castiglione announced his retirement, it's going to come around at the end of the year. I think that, there's a lot of, minutia that I don't want to jump into right now, but I would just tell you that may have been a signal that, no, you better get it done, because now the guy that hired him will no longer be there. and really is. I don't think he's in charge anyway at this point. You've got Jim Nagy and then Mr. Stevenson, the CEO. That he used to be the CEO of AT&T. They kind of seem to be in charge of all this stuff at this point. I believe that I don't even know that 8 wins is going to take care of it at this point. I'm not sure. I think that they have the talent to win. They've given him everything they feel like he needs and everything he feels like he needs. They're letting him run his defense. He brought in 2 guys that, as analysts that are former DCs and, one a head coach. It feels like they're not going to mess around with this anymore. I don't know. I think that it probably heated up a little bit more. I feel like if you don't win 8, chances are they might let him go.
Okay. Jackson, really quick, did you have a question before we preview Alabama?
Yeah, before we get to Bama, Jason, I got to thinking about that AD for Oklahoma, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, Brent Venables is in trouble, but I could see this is a weird comparison that you might think is a little weird, but it's good at the same time. Because I know I was looking at Phil Steele's magazine the other day, and I was hearing him on Bart Rogers, and I was hearing him on the Paul Feinbaum show talking about Oklahoma being the number 1 surprise team. I'm like, that's a good sign for the Sooners. But get this. So, like how 2011 Clemson surprised everyone when it all started with a win over Auburn on 11 a.m. Central Time on ABC September 17th, 2011. And then they upset Florida State on ESPN 2:30. Then they upset Virginia Tech, just basically take over the ACC. Yeah, there were rumblings about how Clemson is Clemsoning, but then later on, they beat Virginia Tech in a rematch of the ACC. And the 2011 season where Clemson surprised everybody, where Dabo Swinney was entering the hot seat.
Jackson, I got to put you on the timer. We're trying to get you out of here.
I know what he's talking about, though.
And he could go forever.
I was going to ask.
No more questions. I'm serious. I was going to ask
Jackson about that bowl game Clemson was in that
You guys
year.
can talk history all you want. I'm on a schedule. All right.
All right, man.
A lot of strong personalities here, but I'm the boss.
All right, man.
All right.
You got it, boss. It's all you.
All right, Jason, thank you so much. I appreciate that insight. That certainly will help the bettors out there that are going to bet the over-under on Oklahoma wins and losses. All right, Jackson, Alabama. Just tell us why Alabama's going to win the national championship.
Well, I don't know if we'll win a natty, but, I think we could take back the SEC a little bit in 2025.
Okay.
It's like Georgia's kind of let us know, hey, it's not yours, but, Georgia's going to lose to Florida and Texas, in my opinion. But, the Crimson Tide, their quarterback situation is a lot better than where they were last year. The offensive line's looking really good to the point where you see a lot of them, like Parker Brailsford and Caden Proctor being on the Outland Trophy preseason list. And you got the running game. Because, last season, when we were losing all 4 games and when we barely beat South Carolina, one reason why things weren't going well in those games, the rushing yards were 125 or less. When we had more than 125 rushing yards, things went well. Case in point, games against Georgia, Missouri, and LSU. Because, I'm going to tell you right now, when we lost Vanderbilt, our rushing game was a disaster. Now, if we rely on Jam Miller, but also our other guys like Deere and Richard Young and all those guys on the running game, we're good to go. And we've got other receivers besides Ryan Williams, like Isaiah Horton, who we got from Miami, who basically heard the tie calling from Miami. And we've got, plenty of other guys for our receiving core. And here's one that's an X factor for tight end, Brody Dalton. You want to keep your eye on him. I think he could really get things rolling in the red zone when we see how things are going against like Florida State, Wisconsin, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Auburn, so on and so forth. We're going to learn a lot about these guys, and I think they can bring a lot of magic. And the fact that we've got Ron Grubb coming back to work with Coach DeBoer for a third time is amazing. And third time's the charm in getting Grubb to come to Tuscaloosa. First time, we could get him in 2023.
Well, you can have him because he was horrible at Seattle. That's all I'm saying. He did not do a good job at Seattle, but college is a little bit different. Daniel, do you have a question for Jackson about Alabama?
I do not. I think that he
Okay.
pretty much summed up all the questions I had.
I do. I got
DeBoer
one. I
and
just want. Do you think that Keelan ends up with the job before too long? It feels like Ty Simpson hasn't grabbed a hold of it like you would have expected him to as an upperclassman.
Good question. Jackson, did you catch that? Oh, go ahead, Jason. I'm not sure he heard you.
I'm sorry. Hey, I just said, what do you feel like Ty Simpson has a hold on this starting quarterback position? It feels like he would have kind of established it, and it doesn't seem like he has.
Well, when I was hearing yesterday on the Ryan Grubb press conference, and just hearing about how there's a 95% chance he's got a hold on it, but what I think really is everybody's just kind of keeping us on our toes. A week before the season starts. They're just kind of keeping the drama ensuing. It's like watching a soap opera. It's the will she, won't she story. That's what's going on with Ty Simpson.
Okay. Daniel, do you have an Alabama question now?
No, I don't.
Wow, that's too clean.
I know it because he's answered most of everything that I needed to know. Only thing I've got a question is year 2. How big are the playoff expectations there for Alabama?
I mean, humongous.
Now, if they go 2 years without a playoff bid, I could see quite a number of the Tide fans getting a little restless.
DeBoer, I think, is if he doesn't win maybe 10 games and get to the semifinals or something,
I think it could warm up his seat. I think, I don't know. I think that they're all in on him. They've got a lot of money on him, I think. And I think that this isn't it's not, I don't really look at them as the same way that you would look at like a Texas or a Texas A&M where you're going to see them kind of pull the plug real fast. Kalen DeBoer I think he's lost a total of 15 games as a head coach.
Right.
I get it that that's a lot of talent on that roster, but I think that, and I really think that Ryan Grubb being back with him as the offensive coordinator is going to be big for that as well. I also think their defense is legit. They're my pick to win the SEC myself. It's just, I mean, we've been kind of talking about that. I think that he's really good. Now, I think if he goes 9-3 again, it would definitely get his seat a little warm. I don't think they'd fire him though. It feels like he's going to at least get one more year. But I could be wrong. I mean, you never know.
The SEC is very low in tolerance for pain, so it's quite possible that's the case. I didn't work up an SEC team. I didn't ask Daniel to, but Daniel, do you have any additional insight on any other teams in the SEC you want to profile for a couple minutes?
The biggest question is what's Tennessee going to do?
I think Tennessee's overrated. Who thinks Tennessee's overrated? I think they are not as good as they thought they were last year.
Tennessee is going to be the biggest question mark of the whole entire conference.
Yeah,
I agree with that, and I would just tell you, I mean, if I'm looking at it, I don't think that Tennessee is anywhere near where they were a year ago. Right. I also agree that I think that as much as I like Simmons coming in for Ole Miss, and they've apparently, I mean, they're always going to be really good on offense. I think that as much as they lost off that defense that couldn't get into the playoff last year, I don't see Ole Miss as being a real contender for it this year either. Now, they may still win 9 or 10 games.
Interesting.
But I think that it'll be the 10th game would be like if they get into whatever bowl game they play. I don't see them as a
title contender.
As a title contender whatsoever. Okay. I think that LSU is kind of on the line of it. I really like Garrett Nussmeier. If it's true that he got hurt and carted off the field today, I don't know if that's true. I think that definitely puts a hit in there on their capabilities or possibilities of doing it. But I think that Nussmeier coming into the season might be the best quarterback in the country. I think he's just that good. So whatever ends up happening there, but the question with them is what are they going to do defensively? This is not an LSU defense that we've seen in a long time. And so, I know they like their coordinator. I still kind of need to see them put it together on the defensive side of the ball. But, I also think that, as far as overrated is concerned, I feel like we ought to talk about it. Texas is overrated. They've got a lot of losses across the board, and everybody's picking them to win.
So let's see that, Jason. Let's look. Let's run through this. So this is Jackson, and again, I apologize. We're going to have to do Jackson first because he is up against a hard time. So Jackson, I'm just going to run through your picks, and then you justify your picks, and then I want Jason to do the opposite. I want him to take the biggest that are on the board and just cut them apart for a couple minutes each. All right. We'll try to keep this to about 5 minutes in total. Quickly, Jackson's picks. He picked Texas #1, not a shocker. Alabama #2, generally not a shocker. Georgia, all three of those schools you could rotate and swip and swap as far as I'm concerned. They're all that good. But then we go Florida. I don't know. They might have lost their quarterback today. I know they did lose another receiver. So Florida, that's going to be a dicey pick. Then LSU, Jason was just talking about. Texas A&M, who is always overrated. I don't care who you are. South Carolina, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Missouri, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Mississippi State bringing up the rear. Boy, they cannot catch a break. Jackson, tell us what's the moral of the story of your picks here?
DJ Lagway. I think he can really get the job done for the Florida Gators. Now, last season, when he came in as the new starter for Florida, they almost beat the Tennessee Volunteers. But if he had played a full game against the Georgia Bulldogs, you can bet your bottom dollar they would have upset the Bulldogs. But he was hurt against Georgia, so things happen, unfortunately. But then you saw the rest of November after they lost to Texas, where they got smacked off the face of the earth. The momentum came the way for the Florida Gators as they beat LSU. They beat Ole Miss. I mean, they beat a pitiful Florida State team that just didn't want to be there today. And they beat Tulane. I think 2025 is a load of momentum for the Gators. It may not look like it against LSU in week 3. But I think you can see some of that momentum against Miami in week 4. Because, people could say, well, that says more about Miami than it says about Florida. Okay, then have Florida get revenge against Texas. Well, they could do that. The hype train's going to run around a little bit. Then you have them lose to Texas A&M at the 12th man. Then they can win out the rest of the way. Because, LSU's early in the season, right? Florida State, we don't know what to make of them. The Georgia Bulldogs, I think this is the year where their winning streak over Florida ends. Because they're going to be unbeaten. You're going to see the Florida Gators with 2 losses. Florida's going to want to get in the playoffs. They're going to want to make sure they can pull off that upset over Georgia. I'm kind of on wait and see mode with that Georgia offense, especially when you got Mike Bobo as offensive coordinator. And as long as Mike Bobo is the offensive coordinator for Georgia, you are not going to see Georgia get to the national title at all. And I think Kirby's going to have some difficult conversations.
Jason, anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, I like Florida a lot if Lagway's healthy. I think that's questionable whether.
Yeah, I just looked, and the update was on a receiver. They lost one of their number 1 or 2 receivers today.
But the news coming out of the high top guys, and I mean they're as close to Florida as anybody, and they talk about it every day. I think it's an awful lot of talk about a healthy quarterback is what I would say. If he's so healthy, they're talking about him an awful lot. I don't know. It feels like it's questionable to me. If he's healthy, I think the sky's the limit for Florida as well. I don't know that I would place them as a favorite, but I have them near the top of mine power rankings also. I think they're very good. I like Lagway as much as I like that, and I love their receiving core that's coming in with Dallas Wilson. As a freshman coming in, he's going to be unbelievable. Or Eugene Wilson. I'm sorry, but they're going to be legitimate. Whether or not that happens this year or not is questionable, but I think that it's coming up, and I think that Georgia, there's a lot to prove for them. I still have them up near the top of it as well. But I do think that again, putting Texas there, I think people are doing it by default. They're doing it by default because they're replacing 4 offensive linemen, quarterback that if Arch was so ready and good, why didn't he play last year? 7th round Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
And if you tell me it's because they were showing, if you're telling me it's because Sark was being good to Quinn Ewers, then that tells me that Sark is every bit as bad as I've always said he is.
Yes,
so I would agree. Either you go in to win or you don't. You've had 2 chances in the college football playoff in the semifinal round, and you've gagged them both away. And I just with the way that Quinn played last year, I can't imagine that this is going to be a perfect Heisman season for Arch Manning. I'm not saying he's not good. I think he's going to be damn good. I just don't know that it's going to be right away. And you don't have a single receiver back from last year. You do have 2 guys, but they weren't your big time players. It looks like they've already lost the guy that they really liked though out of that deal, Ryan Wingo. It sounds like he may be out for the season. They just lost an offensive tackle for the season, and that was, and that's for sure. So they were already replacing 4. Now it's going to be a deal where it's, I just don't see it. And I think that their schedule alone, they got to go to the Swamp the week before the Red River Shootout. Oklahoma's got Kent State that week at home. So it works. That's advantage OU. They also got to go on the road week 1 and play Ohio State, defending national champions.
Yeah, I got a question. I got a question on that for Daniel specifically. What happens if Texas gets boat raced by Ohio State the first week of the season? Is there a possibility that Texas could have a much more difficult season starting off that way, or do you think they're able to continue to stay high regardless of what may be a devastating loss?
Well, Jason just went through the schedule that Texas has. It's not an easy schedule.
Yeah.
And
it's easier than Oklahoma's, but it's not easy in the fact that their tough games are road games.
And also, it's also that it's pretty front loaded. Like game 1 going to the Horseshoe, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it is. That's an understatement for sure.
Yes.
Well, the only thing I take from this is not so much about the top of the poll, it's the bottom of the poll. Arkansas to Mississippi State. I know the SEC is strong and they have that argument every year, but they're probably 3 teams more than the Big Ten, arguing that they're a top heavy conference. Going off of these picks, and we'll get to Jason's next, I don't see any more than 4 teams in the college football playoff. I don't think an 8-4 Oklahoma gets in, for instance. I think a 9-3 would, but 8-4 is difficult. So 4-team SEC that will not make Greg Sankey very happy.
Don't be surprised if Oklahoma has a better season than 8-4. I think that could really happen. Like they could do better than where I have them. Like especially when I was looking at where Phil Steele was having them as his number 1 surprise team. That makes me think, man, Oklahoma can have a really good season, especially when you got Ben Arbuckle as your new OC and John Mateer for Washington State, and you're just like stocking up on your offense in Norman, Oklahoma. That's going to be a humongous win right there in Norman.
Time will tell. That's the fun saying, right? We all know.
I think Oklahoma. To me, I said that there's no excuse. I don't feel like there's many excuses left for Brent Venables, and I mean that. I think that Brent has a team that can win. It's time for you to go win now.
Yes.
You have to, these close losses, this quote unquote learning curve that you're on, you need to flatten that out. And flatten that curve out and start winning these close games. And I think that they do have the team that can do it. Now, whether or not they do, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't think that, I think that every one of those teams that Oklahoma's playing, if you look at that schedule, it is tough on paper. But I don't think South Carolina is as good as they were a year ago either. I think that going on the road to Tennessee isn't as daunting whenever they don't have any of their offense back, and it sounds like it's getting worse there too. I just feel like, Mizzou, they're going to put their foot in Mizzou's ass because there's been a lot of trash talking there. And, I think Mizzou's still probably going to hang around 8 or 9 wins, but it's because they have a light schedule.
Why don't you dive in, Jason? Why don't you dive right in here to your rankings?
Yeah, I'm on it. So again, as I said, I think Alabama's the number 1 team.
Okay.
And this LSU pick, it could change really quickly if Garrett Nussmeier's down. Now, they did bring in a guy from Mississippi State that played really well as a freshman last year, but I still think that it would hurt them a lot if they lose Garrett Nussmeier. So, we'll see kind of.
Oh, you muted yourself, Jason.
Yeah,
we lost you, Jason. There you go.
Yeah, Georgia being at number 3. I like them as well. Still, I don't know. I still feel like there's a few questions about whether or not they're going to be there. But I think Oklahoma's going to win. I think they're at 9 wins. I have a hard time really even picking a third loss because I just think that they should be better than these guys. Health permitting, of course. When you bring in a guy like Jade Knott, along with Mateer, you've got a good offensive system with Arbuckle, as Jackson was talking about. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. I think Oklahoma is about to be back, and if that's probably why I believe that you could get fired if you're Brent Venables because the team looks like it's that good. They should be good enough to get to the playoff at the very least, and with as battle tested as they'll be when they get there, I don't think anybody'd want to play them if they get in it. Again, I think that Texas is going to be still good. They've been recruiting very well, but I just don't see them. I really have them going 8-4 this year. I do. I think
really?
They're going to go 8-4.
Oh,
wow.
I think that they lose the Oklahoma game. They haven't beaten Oklahoma twice in a row in 25 years.
Okay.
They're coming off of being in the swamp where OU is at home to Kent State the week before, and I think that they have a chance to lose the swamp game and the one at Columbus. I'm not necessarily thinking that they necessarily have to lose that one, or maybe they do lose in the swamp, but if they're either going to lose in the swamp or at Athens, and I feel like they probably lose one of the games to either A&M or Arkansas. This is the thing about Texas is they don't seem to beat teams that are equally matching with them, lately anyway. You know what I mean? And they did everything but lose the game to Arizona State, for God's sakes, in the playoff.
Yeah, it's true. And they should have lost, I think. That
Yeah.
game was South
horrible. Carolina, I also think is a bit overrated. But when you start looking at the bottom half, I don't believe in Auburn because I don't believe in Jackson Arnold. I watched what he is last year, and I just don't buy it. And the things that we're hearing out of Auburn camp, I'm not buying them. I really think that Vandy may be a little low on my list. I don't buy Missouri at all. They probably should be a little higher because of their schedule. But I don't know what Bo Pribula is. Maybe he's good, maybe he isn't. But Mississippi State, I think that they'll beat Kentucky, but that's about it. I just don't see. And Mississippi State has a tough schedule as well. They're opening up with Arizona State as well. So I think Jeff Lebby, I don't think they fire him this year. I think it's year 2, and I think that there's a lot to be done there. But I think that, as I said, as you can see, I don't see a lot of the top 25s that we're seeing out there with a ton of SEC teams. I think they got the wrong ones in there because I think Oklahoma not being in the coaches poll is crazy when you have South Carolina, Tennessee, Auburn in it.
I think that's all ego from last year. I just think it's from last year. And frankly, if you are going to have a preseason poll, I actually prefer that. I prefer whoever ends at the end of the season, you should be within 2 or 3 picks the next season in the starting poll. But honestly, I say get rid of all preseason polls entirely and let's not do anything till October. But we're not talking about that tonight. Jason, that's a fantastic breakdown. One question, Jackson, for Jason.
Okay. Well, I'm curious about, Auburn being a little high, but I do want to go over a little bit more about LSU being number 2 because, something I've noticed about LSU is they can win. Well, and this is something I've noticed about Brian Kelly teams in general. They can win big regular season games, but they can't quite get it done in the postseason.
Well, and they seem to lose. They lose a big game every year, though, too.
Agreed.
They lose it. And I mean, look, as I said, that's a pretty right now. That's I would look at that even if Nuss is okay. It's probably the shakiest of the
Kelly,
top 4 for me.
yes, I would agree
because
with that.
I don't really trust Brian Kelly. Here's the thing about them. Even if you didn't know the receivers, and you may not know these receivers that are coming in from the portal, they got guys that walk out of the damn swamp every year and just get after. You know what I mean? They are loaded at that position. I think they need to run the ball better. I think there is a question about their offensive line as well. But I really like Nussmeier.
So what'll determine then his injury status will really.
I think it will, and I also think that the defense is going to have to play better. But I think all in all, I think it's a referendum on Brian Kelly because a lot of people are picking LSU to be.
I would agree
to be in that position, and if you don't get to the playoff again, I think he's going to be in trouble if they don't win at Clemson in week 1. I think it's going to start off the season on a really bad note for LSU.
Very
like
possible.
The last time they won a season opener, it was 2 months before the start of Disney Plus.
Oh my Lord. How do you do that? You have a young head. How do you do that, Jackson? These polls you get from 2010,
What are you doing? Really? Yeah, before
it's easy. LSU's last season opener win was on August 31st.
I know, but how do you know? You shouldn't know stuff like
was
that.
first founded on November 12th, 2019.
Okay, I don't mean to get you started because you could do this all night. You're the one with the timer, so I think everybody salutes your knowledge more than anything else. Daniel, one question for Jason on his.
I think we already talked about LSU. Is Brian Kelly going to finally get over the hump? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He doesn't seem like a fit for me for that program.
No,
he's kind of a gomer, guys. Come on, he has no drip, as it were, right? He's a
everything
actor.
He does looks it's so contrived looking to me.
It's very much. Yeah,
I feel like Brian Kelly is going to have to come up with a new voice. Like if he ever has to go to California, he can just come up with a Valley Girl voice. And the teenagers be like, okay, our dad's friends are using this, so we got to come up with a new thing.
That's hilarious. Okay, so before I let you guys go, thank you both first for coming through and going over your lists. I'm going to bring up the list that we did at the College Football Mafia and give you an idea of whether we did well or we did not do well. Daniel, I'm going to let you do your picks really quickly, run through these.
Okay. Georgia, I think, is going to probably win the national championship.
There we go.
Tennessee is probably the most wild card team that you have out there. They are either going to go. They're going to go either 11-1 or 3-9. There's and a lot of it has to do with they brought that quarterback in from Appy State after I'm going to leave you went to UCLA, so that's always a big mess.
Okay, Ole Miss, Texas.
Ole Miss, I think this is going to be their year. Texas, I have questions, and a lot of Texas questions is that schedule.
Well, Jason talked about them.
Yeah,
quite pointedly.
Alabama, I think Alabama could be that fifth school to make it into the CFP. The problem is that their schedule, I mean, here's the thing. We don't know what Florida State is. We don't know what Wisconsin is. I mean, Wisconsin might actually run the ball and be fairly good. We have no clue what Florida State is anymore.
Okay.
None.
So Alabama then?
South Carolina, I think Beamer's doing a pretty good job, which me saying anything nice about a Beamer, going back to the old Virginia Tech game days.
Is their record 8-4?
Yeah, they're going to be 8-4.
Okay.
A&M, I can see A&M's going to. Here's the thing with A&M. A&M is just A&M. LSU, I don't believe in Brian Kelly. Mizzou, I don't know what Drink's going to do. And he's going to be pretty good, but not great.
Well, let me ask you this. Below LSU, is there really any other program that can shock the world? You have Oklahoma down at 13, which I think is crazy.
A lot of it has to do with the coaching. I think that Venables is probably going to be gone before the.
Wow.
It will not shock me if he's gone before the end of the season.
Wow. Okay.
And I better say something nice about Florida, or I won't be allowed in my brother's house because he married a Gator.
Say it real quick.
Let's go Gators. There you go.
Oh my. Okay. Wow, that's cheating. That's not what I was looking for from you.
No.
All right. And I'm going to get to my picks. I'm not near as reticent as Daniel is.
Yeah.
Just quickly, Texas. I'm going to go chalk. I'm going to assume they're going to get smoked by Ohio State, but do well through the rest of the season. Alabama. I do believe in South Carolina. I think they have a chance to be special this year. We won't know until time will tell. Georgia and Ole Miss. I see everybody from Ole Miss up making the playoff. I think neither Jackson or Jason, you guys had more than 4 teams going to the playoff, which I found interesting from SEC guys. Daniel had a potential of.
I think it'll be 4. I think it'll be 4 this year.
Yeah, that 12-team cap is so tough on people, guys. It needs to be 16 teams. We need more good teams in the playoff. But anyway, and then I do not believe in Brian Kelly LSU. Oklahoma is the only wild card, and I'll be perfectly frank. I wasn't sure where to put them. I could easily switch South Carolina and Oklahoma, and I would have been okay with it. I have them 8-4, LSU 8-4, and everybody else below them I have no faith in at all. And Tennessee, I think, is going to be the biggest failure for the conference. That's the one that they're hoping will be a standard bearer, and I just don't see how that happens. And then lastly, we'll just get to the averages as we went. This is for all the College Football Mafia contributors. We didn't get Jackson in this one, but we'll have him for the other ones. The average of the picks, everybody's got Texas, then Georgia, South Carolina, then LSU, then Ole Miss, and then I don't know where Texas A&M came from. Who did Texas A&M, Daniel? Who was the big changers for Texas A&M? Let's see. They're not very high on Utes list. They're not very high. Maybe I'm seeing that wrong. Where's Texas A&M? How's Texas A&M here? What is that? 7?
Does Rock and Rant have them high?
I don't know. Moen has them higher. Becky doesn't. And Rock has, again, that's a weird stat. Are you sure about that math, Daniel? Anyway, we'll have to get
both
with
myself, Becky. I mean, they averaged a pick 8.5.
Okay, you did the math, so I'm going to trust you.
Yeah.
And then below that, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, and it doesn't really matter the rest. The one I would tell everybody to watch is Oklahoma, and it is because I do believe they're ready for an upkick. I do believe Alabama has a chance. Oklahoma has a chance to shock the world. I didn't realize they had the toughest schedule. I thought Florida did again. But that's some really interesting thoughts to sort of ruminate on. Jackson, you're the one who has to leave in just a few minutes. You have any last comments about either the Mafia team ratings or anything that we talked about here today?
Well, I wanted to ask about Daniel having Tennessee so high because it's like you're assuming that Tennessee will beat Florida and Alabama in the same season outside of Knoxville for the first time since 2003.
Yes.
Tennessee too, yeah.
Yes, I do. And I just think that, like I said, they're going to be probably the biggest wild card that you have in the SEC. I completely forgot the name of the quarterback that they picked up from Appy State.
Joey Aguilar.
Joey Aguilar. He did a really good job at Appalachian State.
They lost their number one rusher. They lost their top three receivers. They lost a bunch off the offensive line.
Yes.
I mean, none of that makes sense to me. And when you got Oklahoma at 13th in the league, they've got their top 10 in the country in returning production. And they added the best quarterback in the portal and one of the best up-and-coming offensive coordinators in the portal or they hired him in. Listen, I think it's wild to me. It feels to me like that was some lazy pick. If you're just going with Tennessee, you're going with Tennessee just because.
Be nice, Jason. Be nice.
It's wild to me.
He is being nice. Let's put it this way. I do horrible with these picks. So I was total wild card on a lot of these. I do awful.
It's just for fun, guys. I mean, we're not picking for Vegas here.
So for me to
you asked me, I told you.
That's all good.
It's fine.
If Daniel couldn't stand up in the kitchen, he wouldn't have put his picks out to the world. So
and like I said,
he's willing to put his name behind him.
They're a big wild card, and yes, they have to go to Alabama. Yes, they have to go to Florida.
All right, we'll have to watch. Everybody watch Tennessee.
Yeah.
Everybody watch Tennessee this year. All right, so Jackson, tell everybody where you're going next, and then where to find all your stuff.
Well, of course, I'll be going on with CFB Express with Rock and Rant and Miami Floor, where we will be discussing quite a lot about the ACC. I will be coming on for a little bit in an hour or so, talking about the Alabama Crimson Tide.
There you
Speaking of which, you can check me out Mondays and Thursday nights on Crimson Tide Live, where Coach Burt's, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, and myself go over our take on the latest news and notes on the Crimson Tide, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. And you got Coach Spook and friends on Alabama Primetime Live, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Alabama College Show, where Jeffrey Only Talk Sports and myself take your calls, 9 p.m. Central Time. And, of course, I've got my own channel as well, Jackson Johnson 979, where I do collaboration with my good buddy Austin Williams, Will and D, Ollie Talk Sports, and my show, The Jackson, including my latest episode with Tiger Paul Craig for episode 77. But for more updates on what I've got going on Alabama, the voice of college football, or The Jackson, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on /Twitter and Instagram and threads at Johnson543-908 and at Blue Sky Social at Jackson Johnson 97, where the skies are blue, as my friend Mike Debate says, and some say the skies are overcast, some say skies are gray. I say to each their own.
I will tell everybody that, just so you know, if you don't know who Jackson is, everything he just did there, he wasn't reading. He has that all memorized, and he's able to put it out on demand. So you want to challenge the kid about what he knows? I wouldn't do it. He's one of the smartest, certainly in college football news and notes I've ever met. So I feel very special when he's able to join my show and give his contribution. Thank you so much tonight, Jackson. Tell those other guys we said hey on College Football Express. And you have a great night and have a great weekend.
You too, gents. Tell your friends, your family, and cashiers a post about the magic that Nathan Balmer Brown and friends, including Daniel Gygatz, Moen, and Becky, and Sergeant Pickles, are creating on CFB Mafia. Let's get those boys over 10,000 subs, and let's also get our friend Jason Watkins at Hall of Fame College Football to 10,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate that.
Let's go.
There we go.
Let's go. Jason, so here's another contributor. Here's a story, a little of it. Where am I trying to point here? Where are you at, Jackson? Somewhere.
Jackson,
this kid, you should put him. You should put him on
anytime.
You should make him a regular. Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, he's welcome anytime.
Yeah, you guys need to hook up. Absolutely. Thanks again, Jackson. I appreciate it. Have a great night. Okay.
Appreciate it, buddy.
You too, gents.
We'll see you later.
Stay cool and stay away from that miserable heat. It's hot out.
We'll see you. Bye-bye. Let's give him a clap out, everybody. That was a fantastic performance by Jackson. Thank you so much for joining us, Jackson. That was a lot of fun. I'm sorry we're on a timer. We got to do these things fairly quickly. I hate cutting you guys or cutting your time, but I am the director around here, so sometimes I have to keep the trains running on time. So we ran through our picks. We did all the preseason stuff. Now I'm going to open up for comments from you. So if you have comments or questions you want Jason, Daniel, or I to answer, put them in the comment section right now. And I can open up the phone. Let's not do phone lines right now. Let's just talk about in comments any questions that you may have about SEC picks or trying to justify what we came up with tonight. I'm going to post again, bring up Jason's picks so everybody knows kind of where he is. He is the expert tonight on the SEC Rankings Show. Really quick, before we get started on that, make sure you're following us all on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate that. Make sure you follow Jason Watkins on the Hall of Fame College Football Show on Twitter. On YouTube. And get involved with his channel. It's fantastic. Does great stuff. He and Coach have a lot of good times. They talk Notre Dame. They talk all of football. So if you're not necessarily an Oklahoma or an SEC guy, I would still tell you to follow Jason Watkins. All right, so we went through that. Jason, really quick, I had more questions about the SEC power rankings that you've got up here. And Daniel, it will sort of trade questions. And then if you want to chime in with something as well, editorial, you can do that, Jason. Of all these picks, and I'm going to be going through the comments here as you answer this question. Of all these picks, which is the one that you'd be willing to sell your house for?
Sell my house for?
Yeah, what's the one that you're so sure it's going to end up that way that you'd sell your house to bet on it?
I mean, probably
the SEC is
Alabama.
Tough.
I think Alabama. I think Alabama's too good. They still have the best roster in the country. I think that the question about them, to me, and I think it's to everybody, is whether or not Ty Simpson's that guy. You know what I mean? But their offensive line is legit. Having Ryan Grubb back is a big deal. Ryan Williams isn't the only really good receiver, and I think that they're going to find a way to run the ball very well. On top of that, defensively, they've got a lot of guys coming back there too. Their defensive line is very good. The one place that, I mean, the cover, even though they lost a lot of guys to the portal right after Saban retired, it still didn't leave the cover dry. They've got a lot of really good talent. I believe in them. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I believe in Georgia. If I'm looking at it right now, I think that Georgia's kind of plateaued a little bit. And
aren't they shaky on their QB still?
Yeah, I mean, if you believe in Gunnar Stockton, cool, but we really haven't seen them running the ball like they have in the past, and that's a concern. I think their offensive line wasn't as good last year as we've seen it be, and their offensive line coach is now the offensive line coach at Clemson. When they were just putting out the best offensive lines in the country. I just don't see them as. I think Kirby's the best coach in the country, but I do think that's kind of hanging on by a thread too. So we'll kind of wait and see kind of how it goes. But if I thought anybody could easily slip off of that list, it'd probably be Georgia. But then again, the reason that I don't trust South Carolina, and I'll just tell you that, I think Lenore Sellers fantastic. I think he's great.
I don't know the Heisman.
I think he's really very good, but
yeah.
The problem is that they lost 9 of those defensive starters from last year, 9 of 11.
Right.
And to me, that was really the best part of that team. That was the best part of that team. Lenore's, I don't know that he can win with his arm, and the SEC is going to make you probably do that. They're going to take away whatever you're best at.
Yeah.
If you're talking about tough schedules, South Carolina's got a tough schedule. For a contender, they've got a very tough schedule. So I think it's going to be tough. And in the end, I mean, people talked about how hot they were at the end of the year last year. Name the good team they beat. I'll wait. You know what I mean? So they just didn't beat anybody that really good. They had some close losses to them. They didn't have any signature wins. So
that's cool.
I feel like that's a tough one for that. But again, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ole Miss found a way to stay around that 9 or 10 wins. I think they're going to be better than South Carolina.
Okay.
But I think this is probably this season. There's more teams that could win the national championship than any time that I can remember.
Okay. All right. Let's get the comments and do some shout outs from the top of the show, which we didn't do, obviously, because we wanted to get to our fantastic guests. First of all, I've just got a few comments that I started during the show. I will continue to mark others. Daniel, obviously, you can flag any comments that you think are remarkable. Do that moderation for me. That would really help. And then, of course, if you want your comment to be read, make it a super chat, and I will absolutely get it on the show. Or we always defer to member comments. If you want to become a member, just hit the $ next to the comment section. That's where super chats and super stickers are. All that money goes to keeping the lights on around here. That's not a funny joke. When creators say that, they're being quite serious. We're not getting rich off this stuff, believe me. So if you have extra and you feel particularly giving, those donations certainly come our way and are appreciated. So we appreciate that. Mr. Ed Wayner checking in. Houston Cougar, also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family, says, hello, everyone. Ask your guests, do they think will trend up this year besides Texas and Georgia? Or who do they think will trend up this year? Will Ole Miss drop enough to shut up Lane Kiffin? And will the Vols be able to be the middle of the road? We talked about the Vols a little bit, but what about the other questions, Jason?
Will Ole Miss drop enough to shut Lane Kiffin up? Nobody's going to shut up Lane Kiffin. No way. No way. Will Vols be middle of the road or road? They're. I think they're roadkill. I do. I don't see. I don't see Tennessee being that good this year. I just think they lost too much. Here's the thing. I do think that they're going to be – I don't think they fall completely to the bottom, but I don't see them as a contender really. I don't know that I did with Nico, to be quite honest with you.
No, I still think last year they were overrated.
They just lost too much. They just lost too much. They lost their top receivers. And listen, Dylan Sampson at running back was, to me, he was better than Ashton Genty, in my opinion. He was legit. And, I mean, when you're running the way – and he carried them on his back a lot of the time. I think that's a huge loss for them.
Nico was overrated, Jason.
I think Nico was a little overrated. I think he was better than people act like he was, though, too.
I don't.
But I also say that first year as your starting quarterback, he wasn't terrible. He did take them to the playoff. I think that it would have helped had they been – he would have been a better – I think he would have been better than this year than I think that their guy is that they got. What's his name again?
We'll know if you see
Aguiar
wins more than 4 games in the Big Ten. We will find out, right? I think you're going to have I think the
Big Ten has done a really good job of protecting their top brands from each other.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thank
you, Ed, for your comment. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you out here. Greg Pflugar joined the show there for a minute. I don't know if Greg's still here, but we certainly appreciate him. Missouri finishing 4th place in the SEC. I don't know. QB Pribula, running back Hardy, wide receiver Coleman, and doable schedule will give Tigers very special season. And I'm on record, I'm just not a Missouri fan in general. So it's hard for me to kind of get behind their bandwagon.
They're going to get crushed.
Greg I will just say this, Greg does put time in on his reviews. He does a review for every major school in the A4.
What he's talking about isn't I think Hardy is legitimately very good. Coleman, we'll see. I mean, Bo Pribula's got to be really good and better than the guy that they had in there before, who I think was really good. So they were definitely better at receiver than they are this year. I think they were definitely better at quarterback. Maybe they're better at running back, but I don't see how they become better than they were with less talent, and on both sides of the ball for that.
What do you think, Daniel?
Is Drink the coach that's going to put Mizzou over the top? I don't think so.
Can anybody put Mizzou over the top?
No.
Well, I mean, if you find the right coach, I mean, Drinkwitz is enough.
It's tough. It's tough.
Horrible.
It's tough just to win, right?
They weren't even winning in the Big 12. What does anybody think they're going to win? I mean, Jason,
they haven't won a conference title since the 1950s. Man.
I know. It was like Nixon was president. I mean, it was somebody a long time ago before I was born. Anyway, appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm just giving you crap, right? Appreciate all that you do for us, though. He also says, hi, Nathan, and hi, BYU football. That's Shonsky checking in. Thanks again, Greg. Great to see you tonight. Timothy Green, who we always have to feature, our soldier out there in West Virginia land. We have Daniel Gygax on one coast.
Green. That's my guy.
Timothy Green on the other coast, representing the West Virginia Mountaineers. Appreciate him. He says, Bomber, great show. The great panel of guests. So there you go. And
Jason,
one of my favorites.
Jason, Timothy Green worked in the coal mines with both my uncles that from there in Boone County, West Virginia. So
one of my favorite people, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's always giving us support and just such a positive person. I love that dude, man.
I love that you said that, Jason. He is positive. That's why amazing. Just a person, and as an individual, Timothy's one of the best you'll ever meet. There's no doubt about it. We absolutely love him around here. A few more. What do you think about this one from Shonsky? BYU football. He's obviously a member of the College Football Mafia family. For Texas Tech to become a contender, they have to do this where their football team for at least 4 years in a row. You have feelings, I know you do, Jason, about what Texas Tech is attempting. How are they? Which is a better likelihood for Texas Tech? And this is Daniel. You can answer after Jason. Which is more likely? They end up like Texas A&M, tons of promise, lots of money spent, not really delivering on the field, or do they actually catch the wave and ride that thing to the top of the Big 12 and into the playoffs?
Nah, man, they haven't even played for a Big 12 championship before it was as big as it's getting into now. And I don't think that I've seen their portal stuff and all that. Okay. It's nothing that special. Here's the deal. As much as I like Joey McGuire, I haven't seen him do anything but talk shit. It's just like, right? I don't really
used to cover him, right, Jason?
Huh?
Didn't you used to cover Joey, didn't you?
No, not Joey. I was there when Coach Leach was there. I covered.
Oh, okay.
Right. But even Coach Leach couldn't get to the Big 12 championship game back in those days. So as good as they were, something always kind of got in the way. I think that Texas Tech is not quite as good a version of Texas A&M as Texas A&M is. That's what I think.
Okay. Daniel.
I'm gonna have to see it before I believe it. You know what I mean? I just got to see it first.
Daniel? Texas Tech is always going to be 8-9 win team. That's their ceiling. I could sit there and point to you a ton of baseball teams that do massive amount of money. The Mets, the Padres. Throw money at a team, it helps, but
culture's a different deal, isn't it? I mean,
you've got to be able to coach them up. I think McGuire is good, not great, as a coach.
Okay, I think they have lightning in the bottle time. I think this year's roster and next year's roster, which next year is out of this world good, is really going to be the sort of litmus test on whether you can attempt this or not and be successful. I support what Texas Tech is doing.
I don't have a problem with spending money. I just don't think they're the right ones.
Right. I understand. I guess at the end of the day, which is going to win out? And I personally believe culture is huge. My school is a big culture school. You don't come here and we just don't go through coaches because it takes a while to understand what we're doing around Provo, Utah for BYU. But it's a different story when you're trying to manufacture it. You're not really writing on a history. It's more of, hey, we have an opportunity. We think we can sort of buy access. I do believe, though, there is a 2-year window that they have an opportunity. They could go to the stratosphere. I think they could catch the wave, as people have talked about, and could end up at the top. I think they could get to the CFP 2 or 3 times, maybe in a row, if they can capture that lightning in the bottle. Not saying it's going to happen, but I do believe Texas Tech has a great opportunity in the Big 12. Go ahead, Jason. You're going to say something?
I think they've always had an opportunity in the Big 12. They've always gagged it away. They struggle. They just I'm not sure that I believe Barron Morton's that great. number one. Their offense has been kind of weird, right? I just don't feel like it's there. And 5-star talent is it though? You know what I mean? Is it really?
These are kids that haven't, right? We don't know.
We just haven't seen. We haven't seen anything, but it is what it is. To me, I feel like Texas Tech is still. I commend them for giving it a shot. But I covered them. I've seen them every year that I've been alive. I know what Texas Tech is.
Yeah, but the money
it's hard for you to become something other than that.
Yeah, but the money has changed. It's not the same Texas Tech.
Fine. Yeah, right. But you still have to. It's hard for programs that don't have a history of being winners.
I don't
to believe that they can be a winner.
I don't disagree. I'm not saying that. I am just saying there is the possibility that they could they're trying to duplicate what Deion did, right? But Deion did it with players that he was with for 3 years. This is what Joey's 3rd or 4th year. So it's really
this is like his 5th year, actually. I think.
Okay, so I think he's going to have a short leash. That's my opinion. If you're a booster and you've subsidized just in NIL money over $25 million, I'm not talking about revenue share. I'm just talking about $25 million straight to the bottom line to build a football program, and you don't win right away, there's going to be heads to roll. This is big time business now. We're not talking about, rah college anymore. There's big money involved, and people are not going to be tolerant, especially if they think you're wasting their dollars. So we'll see. We'll see. Big Lubbock, it says here, Joey has 3 conference winning seasons and 3 straight bowl games and 3 straight top 25 ranked recruiting classes. Only Leach came close to this. And Jason's saying big woo. I appreciate it. I
like
love
I said,
having
a lot
back and forth.
A lot of it is what is Texas Tech Red Raider football? What is their identity? What is their if you're going to do an elevator pitch to me, what Red Raider football is, it's difficult. It's difficult to say what they are. And they're throwing a lot of money. It will help. I mean, if they go 11-1 this year, we could sit there and say, hey, they bought a team that went 11-1, but let's say they go 7-5.
Yeah, I know.
Then what?
I know. Well,
with all that money spent,
they've been spending that money before this year, and they've been going 7-5, 8-4, whatever.
Yeah.
So
losing to Wyoming and shit, NC State. Come on, what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah. I'm not trying to get anybody up in arms here. It's just open questions. Chris Cobb, I'm not sure what school Chris subscribes to, but I appreciate you being here tonight, Chris. By the way, if you're watching,
he's an A&M fan. He's offended.
Okay, so if you're on X right now, jump over to our YouTube page, College Football Mafia Network, and we will please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know what we're doing. Comment or question. Be critical if you want. We like that interaction too. But certainly we appreciate everybody who subscribes. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs. We're under 200 now. And I know I've got 120 people watching on YouTube right this second. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're not a subscriber, I don't know what you're doing. I think we've done a pretty good job tonight. So I'm going to invite you to hit that subscribe button and be a part of what we're doing around here. We really appreciate that. Chris says A&M talent is better than Tech. It's going to be funny when they don't win big. I say pot and kettle if you're an A&M fan. I don't know how either of those. Both of them need to show out with their money.
How many years?
Tech didn't have $200 million put into their program, and they had to pay out a coach $90 million to leave. Nobody else has done that before for A&M either. So I'd be careful if I'm an A&M fan pointing fingers. That's all I'm saying.
How many years did A&M have top 5 recruiting classes? Like
almost
5, 6
every
years
year,
in a row?
Every year,
something like that. Yeah. And they were throwing money left, right, and sideways to get recruits in, and they would go 7-5. They would go 8-4.
All right.
I mean, all that big money.
Yeah. Lubbock says Texas Tech and BYU rule the Big 12. Well, I can sign up for that. I'm all right with that. Tempest checking in. Good to see you, Tempest. Hey, guys, busy night. Just wanted to say hello. New fans, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you so much, Tempest. You are that soldier on the wall. I appreciate you. Thanks for helping us out around here, and thank you for being a member of the College Football Mafia family. Skaven, yes, says he's a Nebraska fan, right? I've got that right.
Yep.
Go Big Red. Horns down can be agreed upon by this Husker. You okay with that horns down there?
Oh, yeah.
There we go, Jason. There, I was waiting for you to do that. That's what I was
always got them down. They're down all day.
Let's see here. MVM, he's another member, OSU fan.
He said they went 1-1 against the SEC.
And we didn't lose to Navy last year.
Go hang a banner, buddy. Go hang a banner, buddy.
Yeah, it's again just
you're 0-9 in a
difficult.
Big 12 that didn't have Oklahoma in it.
This is always difficult when you have
Clowns.
the Hateful Eight versus Texas and Oklahoma, and then you add in the other schools who left earlier. It's just a recipe for destruction. Anyway, let's see here. Trying to find new comments from people I haven't seen. Good to see you, MBM. Thanks for sticking around. Owa's watching. Appreciate you, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, brother. Become a regular. We have a show Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's our big freaking Friday show. I will invite you to watch that at that time. The back half of South Carolina's schedule is rough. Jason, I think you said that, right?
Yeah, I think it's tough all the way around. They've got some tough. They got LSU, they've got Oklahoma, they've got Alabama, Ole Miss. They're playing a tough schedule for sure. But to me, I think that I think it's a lot more about the fact that they don't have a ton of talent coming back. And as much as I like Lenore Sellers a ton, I think he's a stud. Can he beat him? Can he beat you with his arm whenever they don't have the same running game? Because if you're one dimensional, you're going to get hit. And if they can take away his running game, then that means that they'll beat him. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think Shane Beamer's the best coach either. I just don't.
He's not his dad.
I'm not one of the big Beamer.
No, he is not his dad.
Yeah. This is the final 6 that South Carolina has.
Go.
Oklahoma, Alabama,
yes.
At Ole Miss, at A&M. They've got Coastal Carolina, which
everybody has that 11th week bye week.
Yeah. Clemson to finish the year.
Oh my gosh. So my picks are blown up already. I didn't look at their schedule. I was going on off of the Ole Miss I saw last year. That's crazy. That is very
South Carolina. That was South Carolina.
I understand that. I know you're talking about South. What I'm saying is the picks I made were based on last year, not what you just went through. That was I'm gonna look foolish with my pick with South Carolina.
Don't worry, I do every year.
1-5, 2-4 is very easy at the end of the schedule there. That's tough. Clint Moses, resident, let's see, Oregon Beaver. Good to have you here, Clint. Coach Prime could take Missouri over the top, but he'll choose Arkansas instead. That's funny.
If he was going to take a job, he would have taken that Dallas job. I don't know how much money.
And that was a rumor. I'm not even sure that was on.
Well, he was down in Arlington talking to Jerry Jones. I mean, that was confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know. I never saw an actual report. I saw rumors. So I'll just have to defer with what you're saying, Daniel. There's not really any other comments I wanted to get to tonight. I think we're going to call that good. There's no reason to drag out a good show. Jason, why don't you tell everybody where to find your stuff and generally what you're doing? What's next on your channel? When's your next show?
We've got some different things that we're starting to work on, and I don't really want to break the egg on that one just yet, but it's got some cool stuff coming. I've been on the road working on some of it, and right now I'm in Oklahoma. So we're, getting some stuff on that end. But, yeah, Hall of Fame College Football, it's at HOF-CFB right here on YouTube. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers as well. We're trying to get there just like I know you guys are at the CFB Mafia. I'm excited. We do a morning show about 3 days a week. Going to be some changes in what we're doing, but I definitely feel like it's. I love doing this, man. We've talked about this a lot. That this is what we love to do is talk football, talk trash to each other. It is what it is. But I love college football, and I think for all the talk about how college football is dying, I think that's crazy talk. I think it's not going anywhere. The money keeps getting better, and I just think it's just going to continue to be. You're going to continue to see this game grow. I don't know what it looks like in 5 years, but I know it's still here. You know what I mean?
We can count on that for sure.
Yeah.
College football is not going away. There was one comment here early in the show that I missed from Almighty Finn. He says all talk shows taking shots at the SEC for some reason. I'm on record. I'm not taking shots at anybody. We're just doing an SEC preview show, Almighty Finn. So us talking about teams within the SEC, it's not us.
I'll actually be at the Alabama-Florida State game week 1, so I'm excited about that.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to catch me up on what you're doing. All this cloak and dagger stuff you haven't invited me into, so I want to know what's going on. So give me a call and catch me up, Jason.
I will.
All right, I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. We'll see you later.
Thanks,
Peace
Jason.
out. Yeah. Jason Watkins in the house. Thank you so much, Jason. We appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining you and Jackson being here for our SEC show, preview show. I appreciate everybody doing that. Daniel, how do we get all these people? We got 170 people watching us live. How do they get involved on Discord and give us what they think their picks are?
Go to a Discord and go to the CFB Mafia on Discord. You will
Let me
see.
bring that up while you're doing it. Keep going. I'll bring it up.
You will see on there where it says preseason picks. Go to preseason picks. Click on that, and you will see all of our preseason picks for all the conferences that we have. We do have a group of 6 on there who we think that is going to make it into the CFP out of the group of 6. We've got our Big 10 picks up. We've got our ACC picks up. We've got our Big 12 picks up. We're going to do future shows on all the, right there it is. We're going to do future shows on our Big 12, our ACC, and the Big 10 relatively soon. We are 2 weeks and change saying, hey, football's starting. That's going to be good.
Agreed, 100%. Did you post the link to the Discord?
Hold on. I can. Hold on.
You want me to do it? I'm right there.
Yeah, go ahead and do it since you're right there.
All right, I'll post the link. So invite people. We're just going to go copy. Our Discord is free. We don't do a lot with it in the off season. I'll be perfectly honest. But during the season, we have a lot of fun making picks, doing general chatter, criticizing everybody when their team loses or when their team has a great win. And then we do all these other activities. Right now, we are in the preseason picks area. I just took the link. It takes you right to our Discord. Just sign up. It's free to join the channel. That is the College Football Mafia Network if you want to find us on Discord. But follow that link, follow the instructions, and make your picks in those different areas. Right here you can see preseason picks and then group of 6, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, SEC, and then we will have a final category that's going to include the final CFP picks, what you think those 12 teams will be. Those are a lot of fun at the end of the year because we stare and compare about how stupid we were with our picks. And then
that
who's
should have
in the championship game.
That should have populated. I added that this afternoon with.
Well, maybe it's there. Maybe it's there, and I just haven't seen it. I don't know how to refresh this, Daniel. I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to assume it's there. You guys you're seeing it. I'm not. Anyway, so I invite everybody to do that. Take that Discord link and join our Discord. It's free. Poke me, poke Daniel, poke any of the guys on the team in Discord and say, hey, we will get back to you. It's a lot of fun. So we appreciate all that participation. I have a couple comments here. What's it say? It does show it. I believe you.
Yeah, it's the very first one.
They this comment I wanted to talk about. I'm glad Lubbock brought it up because I thought it was hilarious. The show we're talking about is the Monty Show. I'm naming names because check that. I named wrong. It's not the Monty Show. Sorry, wrong. Monty Show is a different group in Salt Lake that sometimes takes shots at the Big 12, but that's not who it was. It was, I think, a KSL duo. Anyways, two Salt Lake radio hosts called the tech coaches and administration bunch of bozos. Really, this chirping from a 5-7 team, that's the University of Utah, is who they cover, that imported a Mountain West Conference team, offensive team in parentheses, for their talent this year. Yeah, it is a lot. Did you happen to catch that on Twitter,
did.
Daniel?
I thought it was Monty.
It's
because
not Monty.
I just saw Salt Lake.
Yeah, it's not Monty.
Yeah.
No, it's another.
And whenever I saw that, whenever I hear a hot take coming out of,
that's what I said it too.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. It wasn't the Monty Show, so don't be mad at them. This one.
Whenever I hear hot takes coming out of any
I thought it was
there.
ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. I just think that was stupid. Do you know anything about this? Chris Cobb says, let's talk about A&M's $515 million contract with Adidas. Surely you guys know about that.
I saw the Adidas. I didn't see the money. I saw that they signed.
Is it $15 million? Where is the dollar sign?
Hold
or is
on.
it $515? $15 million. I'll be honest. I haven't seen it in the news. It wasn't on Twitter, at least anywhere I saw. 15 million makes sense. 515 million seems absolutely insane, but it is the SEC, so who knows? Daniel's going to check that anyway.
I'm looking right now.
Let's see. I'm not going to read that. If there's any other good comments we should get out. Yeah, I don't know. The Adidas thing's popped up a couple times, so somebody's going to have to check on that. But I'm not going to worry about it now. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Thank you so much. Please stay out of trouble. Be safe.
Oh, wait a second. This is Sports Illustrated.
And what's it say?
Well, it's from back in May, and it said 5-year, $47 million contract. But
that makes more sense to me. I mean, that really makes more sense.
Hold on.
5 years for $47
million. I'm still looking. I don't see anything.
Bob Swinger says it's 5 years for $47 million. So you guys are seeing the same article.
Yes.
$515 million. Probably shouldn't be using that, Chris, unless you can provide a source that we don't know, I guess. Anyway, I appreciate everybody joining here. Go ahead.
That's still quite a bit of cash. It's $9 million change in cash. Yeah.
For one school. Absolutely it is. I believe BYU's Jumpman contract is like $6 or $7 million a year.
WVU's Nike. Somebody told me 5.5, but I think that number's way too high.
Yeah, generally they are lower than that. BYU got, anyways, that's a whole brand thing. Anyway, thanks for everybody being here tonight for SEC Show. Check us out on Discord, as we say, and then follow up with our show on Friday night, the Big Freaking Friday Show, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we will, have that fun, I guess. Tomorrow we have off, so I appreciate everybody being close to us. Daniel, thank you so much. You want to tell anybody where they can find your stuff on Twitter?
At the other GigX. That is the reason why I have that name, is because my brother had the GigX. So guess what? I was the other one.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you being here with me, Daniel. Thank you so much. Everybody else have a great night. Stay out of trouble and engage with us on Twitter. If you're just here, make sure you subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on X, jump over on Twitter, College Football Mafia family, or just College Football Mafia. The page will pop up, and hit that subscribe link. Do us a solid. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs this summer. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great night.
Away.
How much?
170.
170. We'll just keep plugging away. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.